Yes. Okay. So, students, today we have a very simple topic in the reinforcement learning module, that is a generalization in reinforcement learning. Another part that we will see, that is the application. So, if we're talking about the generalization, as I told you, what is mean by the generalization? Generalization means the process of formulating of the general concept by abstraction approach. So, with this regard, we need to understand how we can represent our generalization in reinforcement learning. So, in the reinforcement learning, we have the two types of the generalization approach. One belong to the explicit, and other belong to the implicit. Implicit generalization concept we will represent by an important problem that is known as the cardboard problem. And now you will be happy to see the video after some times. So let us understand the its first type of the generalization. So in the my next slide, what I have the generalization in the reinforcement learning, in which we have the first representation of the generalization, that is the explicit generalization. This explicit generalization is saying to us what are the various approaches we have used in terms of the functions. So if you remember the various functions, those are known as the ADP with exploration function under the active learning, and transition model function. We have seen this model or this equations part into the ADP, that is adaptive dynamic programming, and RS, that is the reward function. We have this point, and now Q is what Q value function. We have seen the Q learning. So what we can say, we have assumed so many functions, and those are belong to the various kind of the activity into the different or kind of the method. So in agent will always deal with the various kind of the function as per the its method. What is the method the agent is using? So this information can be represented by the tabular form in the form of the matrix as well. So over the left right top corner, you will be able to see a table which is representing the detail into the table form, and this kind of the tabular information we have already discussed into the DAG capability estimation, and other example is the passive learning. So expletive representation is involved only the or is involved in the only the one output value with each input tuple. So this tuple is basically what? Tuples contain the some important parameters. What are the parameters? Current state utility value, reward function, reward state value. What is the reward function, or we can say the reward value which is to be generated by the current state. Next, if you are following the ADP with exploration, then you will have to follow the expected value that is to be represented by the U. So if you remember my previous class where we have used the F, U, comma, N. So U was the expected value. And M is the our model that is also known as the transition model, when we have to move from one state to another transition, or one state to another state, or following by the transition step. So that is also known as the transition model, and that is applicable into the ADP, and we have seen. And in the uh, temporal differences, such transition model will not be counted, and we have seen this concept in the passive learning. When talking about the R, so R is what? R is our RS means reward function. So of the current state or next state, so we can say the RS dash, and we have also covered this part into our previous topics. Q is the Q value function, and which is a part of the Q learning. So an agent can belong to the various kind of the function as per the its required method. So it is good for the small state space, but the time to convergence and the time for iteration increase rapidly as the space gets larger. The statement is saying to us, when we have the large space, then what we have to be the part of the slow convergence, and that is a drawback. Now you have been observed so many times, some of the methods are slower, some of the methods are providing the slower than for the computation purpose. It means due to this reason we have the slow convergence, but the method should have the fast convergence, and that kind of the problem we can resolve into the our implicit representation. So explicit representation is saying to us what are the various approaches you have been followed, and those can be identified by some function, and that is to be used by an agent or multiple agents. And now there is a limited space we can cover. In the explicit representation say to us, when we have the limited space we can cover. But when we have the use a large size of the space, then it is not easy to deal with the such problem. So that is the reason we have to use another part. That is known as the implicit representation. So this is the overall study which is to be identified by the explicit representation. So what we are doing over here, and what I am saying to over here, I am saying here in the relation in reinforcement learning means we are trying to represent only those information which is used by an agent following by the various methods and its and their functions. So we have this point. But what is the point we have to keep in mind that is the more important? The convergence. So if you're moving from the small space to the large space, then we have to be the part of the slow convergence. An algorithm must not have the slow convergence. And if it is having by an algorithm, then the algorithm will have the poor performance. And to avoid the such thing, we must have the good time complexity or minimum time complexity, we can say. And from this perspective, we can say we can at least have fast conversion. So that is the reason. But the another drawback we have seen so many times, the real world problem is not easily solved by the explicit representation. So the first statement is saying to us an agent be the part of the or an agent will use any one of the function. But what is the problem actually? So what is the real problem that is to be not managed by the explicit representation? The most realistic world kind of the problem we are not able to manage by the explicit problem. That is the reason. Because while playing the chess or various kind of the game, just like I've written over here, backgammon, and when we have the small tiny subset that belong to the real world problem. So we have the limited number of the state space, then it is okay. But when we try to increase its number of the state, then it is not easily to handle because the calculation will be required more way, and we don't know if we are increasing the space, then other computation we have to keep in mind. What was the drawback actually? We have to follow the fixed step. So that is the reason with the dynamic approach we can cover. So that is also to be handled by the implicit representation. So generalization can be done by in better way by the implicit representation because it can easily handle by the our real world problem. So that is the problem we have from which point we need to understand the implicit problem. So what is the problem in the explicit representation? In the explicit representation, we have a problem that is it can't deal with the realistic world kind of problem. So now if you remember the some example as we have noted down in the world, suppose I'm playing a chess. So in my I'm just playing the game with the machine. So machine will able to know the size of the its chessboard. Then suppose I'm just increasing the size of the chessboard or I'm increasing the number of the blocks. Suppose that. So the machine will not able to understand because maximum there would be only 64. So if you have the 64 blocks, then the machine can easily understand where it has to be moved. But suppose that I'm increasing the its number of the blocks 64 to 120 at a time, machine will not able to deal with the such problem. And that is the problem in the explicit representation. So generalization is saying to us the process of formulating from the general concept we can follow, but that is no guarantee each and every time you will follow the realistic problem. So that is the problem we have to deal in the another representation, that is the implicit representation. So from this perspective, just may I know the right now from your side any doubt in this understanding the word about the generalization in the reinforcement learning and explicit representation what we have covered and what is the problem? Yes, tell me any doubt over here. So we have the two types of the representation. One is explicit, other one is implicit. So before jumping on the implicit, just let me know the just idea about the explicit representation I have shared over here. Is it clear to all, or any question you want to ask right now? Yes, tell me.
Clear, sir.
Clear, sir.
Sir, your mic is muted.
Yes, student. The point we have over here. So implicit representation. Now I am coming over here. Now implicit representation. So the implicit representation is saying to us we can overcome the explicit problem. So now what is the problem? That is not really deal with the real world problem. So that is the problem we can overcome from the implicit overcome by the implicit representation. So without going into detailed manner, we need to look into the in simple concept over here by the implicit representation. So taking the example of the chessboard, where each and every block which is mentioned on the board or square, we can say, so that is to be represented by the feature of the chess. So when we need to move any we need to determine the movement of the any pawn. So we can easily determine what is the feature we are having. So based on the our direction, based on the movement, we can determine what is the features of the this pawn or this um, component. So each and every features contain on value. The point I was talking about over here. So when we need to try to calculate utility value of the each and every block. So here suppose we have the ith block that can be calculated by the simple equation ui. So u means utility value. You try to calculate the estimated utility value, and this is also known as the estimated utility function. So that can be associated with the important parameter, important factor, and that is known as the weight. Just like example of the neural network we have seen, whenever we need to get the output of the our input value or input node, that is to be associated with the weight. So whenever hidden node is required some input or the output of the input node, so how we can calculate the input value multiplied by the its weight value. So same phenomena we will use over here to determine the its value. So with this respect, weight will always provide the result or outcomes in the better way, or to provide the result in better way in terms of the efficiency and effectiveness. So due to these two important aspects, we have to use the weight in the implicit representation. And due to using the weight, it is known as the implicit representation, and that is always deal with the real world problem. So chess is a real world kind of the problem. Playing the backgammon game is also real world problem. So we can also deal with the over here. So representation can be deal with here simple way, but the expert representation cannot deal with in the simple way. So that is the reason most of the people will like to use implicit representation over here. So from this perspective, we will try to understand the concept by a real example. So we have a cardboard problem. So before moving the cardboard problem, so let me take the some advantage part of the implicit representation. So we have enormous compression. Enormous compression can be achieved by the implicit representation, but that alone isn't to generalize from one state to another state. It means if we have visited some state, then there is no issue. But some state we have not visited, then it will also keep the details in terms of the simple way, and that is identified by the enormous compression, because it will be also managed by the path. So if we know the path, if I'm moving this direction, so I can lose the game or I may lose the game. If I'm moving this direction, so I may win the game. So with this aspect, with this pattern, we can generalize the our state. That is the reason it is known as the enormous compression inside the implicit representation. And the most important aspect under the implicit compression is saying to us it allows for inductive generalization. So now what is inductive generalization? Inductive generalization is, we can say, whenever we need to take the decision dynamically, so it takes the decision dynamically as our required, and definitely at the time we have to use the optimum policy, and that is quoted by the dynamic optimum policy. But what is the advantage of using this one? This is the advantage we can have. fast convergence. An inductive generalization can be represented by the simple term that is known as the chargeable or charge generalization, because it provides the high voltage for the generalization to get the better result. And if we are getting the better results, then what we have the fast convergence. So that is the reason these are the two important aspects or two important points why which we can say implicit representation better than the explicit representation. That is the point. Okay, so just let me know right now. The after understanding the explicit representation, the problem is clear and the implicit representation part is clear. Don't worry. Now you will be happy to see the video. Now this implicit representation will be clear within the 1 minute. So just let me know right now from your side the implicit representation part is clear. This theoretical part is clear. What we need to do
Yes,
and
sir.
why it is important. So uh, so this cardboard problem I need to discuss over here. That is not mentioned in your syllabus, but I just like to introduce over here because I'm the person who believe in the real kind of situation. So if I'm speaking something over here, the implicit representation can be deal with the simple way with the real world problem. So how we can say? So let me show the my proof over here by a video. Then you will be happy to see. But before understanding the cardboard problem, just let me know right now what is mean by the cardboard problem. Can anyone tell me? After reading the statement, can anyone tell me what is mean by the cardboard problem after reading the statement or after seeing this video? Oh, sorry, this image over here. Can anyone tell me what is mean by the cardboard problem? Can anyone tell me?
So we have to balance the pole which is on top of the moving cart, I think.
No, it's you're on the right track because it is written over here. But suppose I'm just giving the hint, then you will be happy to understand the concept simple way. When you are feeling the bored, then you need to pass your time while studying. The point, please listen carefully. While studying you are feeling bored. Now this topic is now boring me, so what should I do? So what you will do, you will keep your pen, that is writing pen, on a finger and try to balance the pen on the finger. Did you do this activity? Did you do this activity where you are trying to balance your pen on the any finger? So what you're doing, you're just trying to balance the pen, and sometimes the pen is suddenly drop down. Okay, so your family member will see this situation and scold you. What you're doing? You're doing this. You are doing a study or passing your time. So have you this kind of the situation will be happen with the when we are doing the study? Now tell me, did you do this activity or have you seen this kind of situation? Just tell me. Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so at the time, this problem is known as the balancing pen, the writing pen. So here we have a moving cart. So where we have a pole. So pole should be balanced on the upright side. Okay, so the direction we need to keep in mind. So now from this point, you will able to see the pole is on the right upright side, but it is not into the straight way. So there is some angle. The pole we have must be balanced. I'm repeating again. The pole must be balanced in the straight way, and that is our problem. And this problem can be understood by the, and we can see this situation in simple manner. So I have a video in the next slide why which you will able to see such situation, and now you will able to see it contain the many iteration. So after each and every iteration, or it can have the 32 iteration, 59 iteration, 102 and 2 to 28. So after applying the many iteration, the my model or the machine will learn the situation, and the learning is more important. So after learning the situation, then how to balance the thing, and that is to be put into the algorithm way. So device, after the many iteration, device automatically learn the situation and balance the pole. So you will see the video, you will watch the video and see the situation, what is happening over there. Okay, so this is theoretically point over here which describe the what we need to do. The last point is saying to over here we have the box algorithm, because box is saying to the box what is coming from the card. In the card we have some specific size of the card, we have the pole. So how to balance the pole? So x is x dash is the our the direction. Okay, x to x dash means we are talking about direction, and theta dash is the our angle. So what is the initial way of the pole we have? That is the really it is on the straight way or not. So while moving it can change the its angle, so that is known as the theta to theta dash, and x to x dash is the direction. So based on the some parameter we can see this is the, and this is the proposed by, or this is carried out by the Michi and Chambers in the 1968. So from this point I'm remembering the point over here. In the artificial intelligence and machine learning fuzzy logic, these are the various area of the our machine learning flavors where we will try to solve the problem which are falling by the year by year. So this problem we are discussing over here, that is not a new problem. This is the older one problem we are trying to understand by the machine learning as well, or reinforcement learning. So what we are doing, we are trying to solve the same problem with a different phenomena. Here we have the machine learning, and previously other person has tried to solve such problem in a simple manner. So just like remember the water jet problem in the artificial intelligence we have discussed. Okay, those students who have studied artificial intelligence, we have seen four water jet problem. Again, so that was not a new problem. That was an older problem. So now you can simulate such problem with the machine learning as well. So you are trying to make a model in reinforcement learning way. So in this world, what is the problem we are need to face, and what are the problem we are facing? All problems are the our previous or existing problem based situation. So that is the point we have over here. So here we are discussing some thing that is not a new. So from this point, you will be able to understand what is happening over here. So here we have a theoretical point over here, and it is written over here. It then train fell until the pole fell over cart hit and the tracks. So okay, so this is the situation. We will move and see again. So let me show them my video right now. Okay, so before discussing anything, just let me know right now the screen is visible or the slide is visible. The card pole in reinforcement learning, and in this approach we have the temporal difference learning model default. Cardboard reinforcement learning problem where we are trying to deal with the real world problem. So temporal difference and Q learning both are the methods which belong to the real world problems, and those are known as the model free. Okay, if you remember my previous slide. Yes, cardboard problem, reinforcement learning, and temporal difference we have. Yes, is it visible to all?
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to play the video over here. Now you will able to see, and please watch this video carefully and see and try to learn something. Okay, so simple input and Q table we have. So each and everything we have. Performance after zero iteration. So now you will able to see this device we have that is known as a card, and it's try to balance the pole, but after iteration on the 1 and 2 iteration, this is not balancing. Okay, so not balancing after performing the 25 episode means 25 iteration. So now you will able to see the pole is just little bit try to balance. Now after the 52 iterations, now you will able to see little bit pole is trying to balancing. Now it's balancing again, it is fell down. Now the video is going on. So now it's balancing, and suddenly fell down. Now after the 102 episode or iterations, now it is trying to device is trying to balance the pole. Now again, it's balancing again, go down again. Now after the 165 episode or iteration, now trying to balancing. So now you are trying to see over here. I have just paused my video over here. Now you are seeing over here, after the many iterations, the machine is trying to learn something from the past experiences and try to balance the pole in simple way. So now when I'm trying to increase its iteration again, so now machine, that is the machine means I'm talking about the device which is running on the track, and that is our known as the cart. Okay, so I'm just moving to the this point. We were on this point right now. So after the 165 episode, so now pole is trying to balancing. Now it is balancing. Now you will able to see. Yes, it is perfect balancing again. After the 192 iteration, now pole is trying to balance in better way from the previous iterations. Now, yes, in between, can you tell me is it is visible to all? Yes, in between, can anyone tell me it is visible to all the video?
Yes, sir,
Okay,
visible.
okay. So after the 228 iteration, now the device has learned the situation. When I'm just little bit hitting the pole, then the device will balancing. So you will able to see the situation right now. Now see, it is perfectly now running on the same track, running by the same device. So pole is balanced. This is what? This is known as the dealing with the real world situation by using the implicit representation. So this generalization of the reinforcement learning is belong to the implicit representation. So this is known as a generalization. So this is a real example I have shown over here. Okay. So now this concept is clear. How cardboard reinforcement learning is working? Yes, tell me. This point is clear to all. How cardboard reinforcement learning is working by using the temporal difference. Temporal difference means a method which will not require to use transition model. It will use only two important point. One is the current state utility value and next state utility value along with the reward function, and only nothing parts are required. So in the temporal differences, we are not need to calculate the other parts. So the time complexity of the temporal difference will be lesser than the its other methods. That is the reason we are using here the temporal difference. You can also implement the cardboard reinforcement learning by using Q learning approaches where you can introduce the Q value functions. That is my point. So how you are building your model, it's your choice, but you need to check also the performance of the model as well. Okay, so after understanding this point, we have an applications part. So before describing the applications over here, just let me know right now the generalization in reinforcement learning topic is clear to all, or anything you want to ask, any other question you are having, so please you can ask me right now. Yes, student, tell me, any other student who want to ask any question from the generalization in the reinforcement learning?
No,
Yes,
sir,
tell
it's
me.
clear.
Okay, so next part we have over here, that is applications. So applications I have written over here in detailed manner. So please note down the, and you this kind of the question may ask into the examination for theoretical purpose only. But I have some image or snap by which you will able to see what is the purpose of using the reinforcement learning in application terms. So applications and self-driving car. So as we know, Google is doing the better job to uh, implement the self-driving car in better way, and still Google is working on this in better way, because the no model is perfect in this world. So Google or RDA, the company, will try to make a model in simple way as well as provide the better efficiency and effectiveness. So work is going on. So from this perspective, we will able to see what are the self-driving cars. Self-driving car means no human driver is applicable over here and no robot driver is applicable over there. Only the car will take the decision by seeing the situation, by seeing the object on the road, and will take the decision should it stop or will go on the continue on the track on or road. And that is the point we have the self-driving car. So the point here I'm just marked by the circular way in the last point that is written over here, the Q learning. So Q learning is an algorithm which is implemented here into the self-driving car. And now understand this point right now here. Why? For example, parking can be achieved by the learning automatic parking policy. So we have to introduce some policy. If the car is able to see the some space are available and it is fitted to the parking, then with the help of the parking policy, the car is automatically parked without any doubt. Lane parking can be achieved by using the Q learning. So Q learning is what? Q learning is the method of the reinforcement learning that is to be applied into the self-driving car mechanism. Now, while overtaking is can be implemented by the learning by overtaking policy. So if car is need to overtake the any other vehicle by the any other vehicles or to the any other vehicles, then how it is possible? We have to implement some overtaking policy. And suppose this kind of the policy is not implemented, and if the car is trying to overtake, then it will not be happen. Why? Such kind of the features are not introduced. Just like example over here, suppose you're trying to build a machine where the machine will try to read some information, but machine can read only English, and you're trying to show the Hindi or any other language or regional language based image, then machine cannot able to understand the some uh, phonetic or we can say some fonts by because such informations are not fed up into the machine. That is the reason we have to implement so many things. So lane parking or lane changing can be achieved by the Q learning. So Q learning is most important algorithm for reinforcement learning, and most of the people are working on this kind of the approaches. Why? Because it is applicable into the object detection as well, and it is also applicable to the self-driving car. So let me show the my proof over here. What is the self-driving? Oh, okay. How self-driving car will work. So now there is an image over here. You will able to see. It contains some cameras. Cameras are like a sensor to read the image. Okay, and after reading the image with the help of the some its codes or algorithm, image will be decoded in terms of the some machine language, and machine will take the decision on based on the code or based on the some formulated information, and then provide the result in fast way. So you will be able to see the car is running on the track or car is running on the road. When it found that there is a out of the track, so it will be stop automatically, and it gives the some cameras on which the information can be read out. So this is a self-driving car we have over here. Now you can also see the lots of the video over the self-driving car on the YouTube. So there are lots of the videos are available. And now in today's example, I'm putting over here for explaining purpose. Drone is the best example for reinforcement learning. Suppose you're trying to implement a model and which will take the decision, and if you try to implement reinforcement learning approach into our drone, so drone will automatically fly and will take the decision and will capture some images and will return automatically after sometimes after capturing the images, and that can be also implemented. So no remote control is required to manage the drone. And if you try to implement the reinforcement learning into the drone, so that would be our best example, and this could be the one kind of the project. Now next application could be its industry automation. In industry automation with reinforcement learning, I can share over here, just like the manufacturing the car by the robotic arms. So robotics arm will try to manufacture the car body, and it will do the welding, it will do uh, uh, it will put the uh, nut and bolt, and it will just do the different activity for manufacturing the car bodies. So without the human intervention, it will design the car with the less number of time, which is will be taken by the or which can be taken by the human in more. So we can save the time. So that is the reason robotic is nowadays is more important in industry places. So industry automation with reinforcement learning in today's era we are using. So lots of the I can't tell the name of the countries right now over here, but I have watched a lots of the video where I found over there many industry are using robotics to provide the better result and in terms of the effectiveness and efficiency. Because while doing the work by the human, there may be some errors. There's no guarantee, but there may be some error. But if you are trying to do some work with the machine will do the work with high efficiency because there will be less chance of the errors. That is reason industry automation by the robotic arm is going on in today's era. That is reason. So it is a good example of the this reinforcement learning application. When talking about the trading and finance, so trading and finance, whenever we have a device which provide the result in better way to trade and finance purpose. So now you can see, suppose I have purchased some share from the company, but I don't know what is the past record of the company I have seen, but I didn't calculate each and everything, but I have implemented the some applications in the trading and finance which is followed by the reinforcement learning. So machine will keep the last 10 or 20 years record of the company, what was the its share score or other thing which is to be dealt by the other thing in the terms of the trading and finance. So we can easily identify with its summary if I'm investing some amount for purchasing the share, it is good or not. That is the reason in the stock market we can also use the reinforcement learning. So reinforcement learning also applicable in the gaming as well, and also as well into the various places. So it could be the example of the machine learning, but machine learning in the machine learning, reinforcement learning is also part of the machine learning. So reinforcement learning application in trading and finance can be applicable anywhere. So this is a good example we have to keep in mind, and by which we can measure our loss and profit and other factor as well. So this could be the better example. So in the machine learning, most of the people like to determine the stock price reduction. So stock price prediction. So for I'm purchasing some stock from the company in terms of share, so I need to predict something. What would be the expected stock price prediction? So machine learning algorithm will help you. So if I'm saying machine learning algorithm, it means any algorithm that could be reinforcement learning, any algorithm that could be the unsupervised learning or supervised learning could be. But what kind of the approach we are using, we have the this kind of thing. So reinforcement learning is not bind by the only gaming purpose or a self-driving car or simple purpose. It can be implemented. It can also be implemented to the trading on finance as well. So that is the reason over here I put it over here. Now next application I will like to introduce over here by the NLP. So we are speaking English, we are speaking Hindi, we are speaking other regional language. So those languages are known as the our natural languages. But okay, in India I can speak so many languages, so if I can understand the so many languages, no issue. Suppose a French person is coming over here and he don't know or she don't know, she doesn't know, he doesn't know the English. He is trying to speak continuously the French language, but I am unable to understand the any single words of from his side, and I can understand only the Hindi. So what is the problem? Because I can't speak the English and he can't speak English, so there is the communication barrier we have over here. So how to resolve, how to remove such kind of the barrier? We have Google Translator. So if you remember the word Google Translator, with the help of the search pattern, we can use the thing. So what is the point we can say over here in the natural language processing? In the natural language processing, the other person's language will be identified and their information will be decoded, and after transforming into the machine, and machine will tell he or she is speaking this language, and now machine will translate such language into the our desired language, that could be Hindi or English. So we will able to understand now what he is saying. So that is a point we can say natural language processing. So natural language processing is a really good work where the people can do the research. So natural language processing is a demanding work. So in this image, what we have the different machines. So here, what is the pattern we are following? We are putting the some messages. How old are you? So my input message will be going over here, and turn one, turn two, turn three. So with the help of the various level of the decoding, after that machine will providing the result in terms of the our desired language. And now I can't remember the right now the name of the device, but there are lots of device we are required to put in your ear like the headphone. And if someone is speaking anything, then in any language, and automatically what he is speaking we can understand into the our desired language. So the communication gap we can overcome the communication gap. The communication gap will not be there. So from the reinforcement learning, natural language processing also play important role. So what are the various steps? It has the text summarization. You are putting the message on the text. Now Google Translator, as I told you, question answering. If someone is asking me the question into the French language, I'm unable to understand. So at least with the help of the translator, I can understand the thing. Okay, you are asking me this one, and same reverse process can be possible. If I am speaking the English and he is not able to understand the French, so my speaking words or my speaking audio what I have spoken, my audio will be translated automatically, and the person can understand or person can listen the French language translated statements by the speaker from the my device. And that is the best example of the natural language processing. So there are the lots of the applications in the reinforcement learning or the machine learning. Most of the people most of the people are diving into the learning purpose. That is the reason. And last application I can't forget to right now over here in this pandemic situation, healthcare. So in the healthcare, suppose I need to detect something from the internally in deeply manner with my machine learning approach, so I can detect. So in the pandemic situation, the COVID, suppose someone is detecting or suffering by the COVID, but he or she is not matching any kind of symptoms, but internally in his body or her body, virus are living. So how we can identify? So with the help of the some other kind of the patterns of different kind of things, we can easily identify. And now we are not able to detect the mutations virus in the body. So there are so many algorithms. You just try to do some research. You need to try to involve into the medical field by using the machine learning approaches. Now you can provide a better healthcare system. So that is the reason lots of the activity, lots of the research is going in the machine learning and reinforcement learning to provide the better result to the system. So here I have written over here the RL. So RL divided into the various healthcare system. Dynamic treatment present. We have the chronic disease and critical care. Now automatic medical diagnosis. Other general domains. So here we have the lots of the information which belong to the medical fields. So reinforcement learning application, the healthcare is also applicable. Questions, I'm just a point I'm remembering right now, not the question. You have seen the sonography ultrasound system. In the last 20 years, we are seeing the same machine. 22 or 30 years ago, this machine was already developed, and it provides the our better result from the our abdomen situations. What is happening into the our abdomen? Suppose we have some kind of problem in the our abdomen, liver, or other kind of the organ. So with the help of sonography or with the help of the ultrasound, we can easily detect. So this kind of the real kind of situation we can also deal with. So healthcare is also important aspect or important area where the machine learning is playing important role. And with help of the reinforcement learning, we can also do. So with help of the various kinds of reinforcement learning method, we can improve the healthcare system as well. So this could be the one kind of the application. Okay, so this is the point. So these are the various applications as I told you. So what are the application in summary? I can speak over here. First application was self-driving car. Next was industry automation. Second one. Third one is trading and finance. Fourth one is natural language processing, and fifth one is healthcare. So these are the five different application, and any one of the question may ask into the examination in simple way. So you people are required to understand the points what is written over here in simple way, and you are required to write in your way in simple way so I can easily understand. So from this point, we can say we have seen the application as well.